What's up? What's going on? Hide and read with another book tag, the first date book tag. I'll link the original video in the description. Two nice ladies. It was a fun video to watch. Pretty much the opposite demographic of this channel, but nonetheless, I think you'll enjoy. And hopefully you enjoy this one too. Yeah, so this is the first date book tag. I think the prompts are like reflect a kind of dating premise. Ugh. Hopefully I never have to go. This is my last first date, optimistically speaking. But yeah, got everything written down here. I'll link the original video. Go ahead and watch that. The two ladies. I was unfamiliar with their channel, but they're really fun to watch. What books do you regret buying? Absolutely none of them. No, just kidding. There's plenty of books I regret buying. Usually it's when I pay the full cover price. That hurts. Even if it's a book that I really want and enjoy. Even if it's a gift, I'm just like, I'm a little bothered by having to pay cover price, especially nowadays. Like, even just like a lot of the classics that are massively printed, you know, there's tons of copies of them in paperback. It'll cost you over 15 bucks now for a lot of them. So books aren't cheap unless you are patient and you know where to look, or you got good friends. Then a lot of times they're free. But yeah, paying full price for a book, that'll make me regret it, even if it's something I really wanted. Number 2, do you DNF? Why not? Why are you not focusing? How much time do you invest? I definitely DNF books. I know a couple people that I respect their opinion highly, and they say you don't DNF. I don't have that Protestant work ethic. If I'm not enjoying a book and we're over 100 pages in, I can comfortably put it down with no shame. I really won't be bothered. I don't feel that way. 100 pages is, you know, that's a good amount of time that you've invested. And if the author isn't doing anything for you, especially by like 120 pages, like I'm gonna move on. I think like an exception to this is sometimes you're reading a series, and like one of the earlier books could be a bit of a slog, but then things kind of catch up. Sometimes it's worth sticking out in a series, you know. Sometimes you get a stinker of a book. But yeah, no shame in the DNF over here. I don't mind it. There was a point when I had a problem where I was just not finishing books. But if that's you, I would say, yeah, just sit through a couple stinkers, you know, bear it, grit your teeth a little bit. And yeah, once you build up, you know, a bit of discipline, once the discipline isn't a problem, then yeah, what's the shame in not finishing a book? That's just my personal opinion. Is there a book that you did not want to come to an end? We talked about this a couple times on the channel. One of my favorite books, by George MacDonald, Lilith. I have read this book like, I think 3 times now. And I just refuse to read like the last 20 pages. I think this year I'm going to read some more books by him, because that's really the only book that I've read by him. And then we'll go back to Lilith and finish it. But yeah, I don't know, for sentimental reasons, I just really want that book to keep going on and on. So yeah, Lilith by George MacDonald. Not only did I not want it to end, I refused to let it end. It's been over definitely over 10 years since I started reading that book, and I've read it, like I said, 3 times and never cared to finish. I don't know if that's what they meant by the question, but yeah. Have you experienced withdrawal from a book? So I'm wondering, are they asking this question like in a positive sense? Like, was I enjoying the book so much and then I stopped reading and felt terrible? Because I have like an opposite experience. There's this manga that's very popular, and I enjoyed it a lot, so much so that I read like, I don't know, like 24 volumes, I think, at least. And I was so caught up in the story and everything, and just like needing a resolution. And then I realized, did I mention that this manga is Berserk? It's very popular. But I just realized that there was no resolution to the story. That the point of this was actually just to torture the characters in the story. And nobody actually gets a redemption arc. And looking back, I should have realized this from the beginning. And as much as I love the characters and the art, and just like aesthetically, it was very pleasing to me, I just had to stop. And to this day, honestly, I recommend that people don't read that book. As much as I enjoyed it, and it's not that I artistically, it's very enjoyable, but because there's no character arc, really, there's no redemption for these characters, good or bad, there's no fruition of almost anything. It just kind of leaves you just feeling unfulfilled. And because there's so many other stories that you could be reading, I just think for that reason, I don't suggest that people read that one. I just felt like it wasn't good for me. And as soon as I stopped reading it, I felt so much better. Like, as soon as I decided that I wasn't going to read this anymore, I listed it online, sold it, got it out of my house, and then spent the money on other stories. And I seriously, physically, instantly felt better. It was a kind of a strange experience. So that, and then Voltaire, Candide. I don't know if I was just having a bad day or what was going on, but as soon as I finished that book, like, I just had like this weird crushing bout of like depression and like existential angst. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm going to read that book again. Like, it wasn't even, I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was me or the book. Like, I found the book like pretty charming, and it was like, the implications of it are grim, but it was even like, I found it funny and in like a silly kind of way. So it could have just been me, or maybe a little bit of both. I'm going to go back and read Candide and see if that happens again. But yeah, that's my withdrawal story from books. Who knew that could happen? What keeps you interested in a book? What keeps you focused on my writing camera? What keeps me invested in a book? Sorry, I accidentally closed the video there. What keeps me invested in a book? Mostly character arc. We were just talking about that. I want to see the characters grow, or even, descend into their vices and stuff. I'm not really, a stagnant story is pretty boring. And that goes for fiction and nonfiction. That goes for people, animals, non-sentient objects. Like, I just want to see some sort of development. If you can think of something that's fun to read that doesn't have that, I'd be very interested in knowing. Please tell me. What prompts you to pick up a book? Well, first we'll just get this out of the way. Cover art. In school they told you, Don't judge a book by its cover. Well, those people weren't reading enough books, and maybe those books didn't have nice covers that they were reading. I'm not sure what was going on there, but definitely cover art is a big part of it. And spine, that'll do a lot for me. And it doesn't even have to, it doesn't have to be eye-catching or anything. The title will get me a lot of the times. But outside of just these kind of outward things that I feel like are worth mentioning, just out of honesty. Something that gets me interested in a book is booktube. Like a lot of times, I'll be honest, it's not that I'm going on the recommendations of other booktubers. It's like I already know what I like to read, and there's so many books that I have in my ethereal TBR that when somebody praises one of the books that I want to read, it bumps it up in the list. So yeah, I don't go solely on reading recommendations. I just have a good idea of what I want to read at this point. And when I see somebody else being excited about a book or praising it multiple times, I'm like, okay, this must be something that we need to get to sooner than later. Do you keep finished books? Yeah, definitely. I keep my finished books. Lately I've been having a lot of fun letting them go. Almost as soon as I finish reading them. That's been fun. It used to be hard for me to determine what books do I want to keep and what books need to go. But yeah, lately I've been having a lot of fun just even knowing before I started, oh, this is probably a book that I'm not gonna want to keep forever. And yeah, passing it on to the next person, which has been something difficult for me to do. So that's that. Last question. And I think this is a bonus question. Who or what do you trust most for book recommendations? Oh, we just talked about this. Who I trust most, what I trust most. Getting the narcissistic answer out of the way, which is myself. It's friends, booktube, looking at other people's shelves. I get a lot from that. I also like going to different libraries, even if I don't have a card there. There's a lot of books that they'll have that I wasn't aware of, or I forgot about, or what have you. Those are the things I trust most. Comments on the channel. For example, there's this cool Chinese serialized web novel, Lord of the Mysteries. I call it Circle all the time. Lord of the Mysteries, which is really cool. And I don't think I would have ever run across that one if somebody didn't just show up in my I think this person only left one comment on my channel ever. If you're watching, let me know. Thank you very much for recommending that. I like that a lot. And yeah, that's the most of it. Person-to-person interactions, browsing, and myself. Outside of this, not too much. I don't really, if I read reviews, it's usually post reading the book. One other thing I do get a lot of recommendations from, if there's an author that I already like, and in their novels or just in an interview or something, they're making references to other books. That's a big one for me. Right now, I'm going through, Louis L'Amour has a big list of all the books that he read. Not all of them, but just for certain years he kept a good journal, a reading journal. And I'm going through that and trying to track down, because it's a lot of stuff that I have not read. It's kind of depressing. So I'm trying to go through that recently and read those books. So this has been fun. I guess this was our first date or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Find somewhere to hide. Find something to read. Peace.